Traditional dragons are simple reptilian creatures that can fly and breathe fire. Thousands of iterations of these creatures are part of ancient texts, paintings, and folklore. However, modern fiction has totally thrown this version of dragons out the window. Across books, movies, anime, games, and mythology, dragons have evolved into creatures that can bend time, rewrite reality, disguise themselves as humans, live in dreams, control entire dimensions, or exist as eldritch horrors beyond human comprehension. Some dragons don't even have wings, others don't breathe fire. A few are so bizarre that calling them dragons almost feels wrong. Today, we're counting down 10 of the strangest, weirdest, and most unforgettable dragons ever created. Kicking off this list on number 10 is Balerion, known throughout Westeros as the Black Dread, who's remembered as the greatest dragon ever ridden by the Targaryens. His enormous size allowed him to swallow mammoths whole, cast shadows over entire towns, and melt massive stone castles with his black flames. Yet the reason Balerion earns a place among fiction's strangest dragons goes far beyond his incredible power. Years after the fall of Old Valyria, the dragon mysteriously disappeared with Princess Arya Targaryen. When they finally returned, Balerion carried deep wounds across his body, injuries unlike anything seen on a dragon. Even more horrifying was Arya's condition. She died in agony after strange, fire-living creatures burst from beneath her skin, suggesting they had somehow infested her while in the ruins of Valyria. No one ever discovered exactly what attacked Balerion or what happened during that journey. Considering Balerion had conquered kingdoms and defeated every dragon he encountered, the fact that something in Old Valyria managed to injure him has fueled centuries of terrifying theories. If Balerion barely escaped alive, what unimaginable monsters are still hiding in the smoking ruins of Old Valyria? Standing tall at number 9 is Acnologia, one of the most terrifying dragons in anime history because he was never born as a dragon. He began life as a human dragon slayer during an age when dragons and humans were locked in brutal war. After spending years hunting and killing dragons, he absorbed so much dragon slayer magic that his body underwent a permanent transformation. He eventually became a full-fledged dragon while still keeping the intelligence and hatred of a human. This unique origin made him stronger than almost every other dragon in the series. Acnologia could effortlessly destroy entire cities, fly at incredible speeds, unleash devastating blasts of magical energy, and overwhelm armies without breaking a sweat. His overwhelming power earned him the title of the Dragon King, and even the strongest wizards feared his arrival. Unlike many dragons that fought for a kingdom or protected a cause, Acnologia cared only about destruction. His transformation from dragon hunter to the very creature he despised makes him one of fiction's strangest dragons, creating a tragic and terrifying story where hatred ultimately turned a man into the world's greatest monster. At number 8, Haku is one of the most unique dragons in fiction because his true identity has nothing to do with dragons at all. In Spirited Away, Haku is actually the spirit of the Kohaku River, taking the form of a long, elegant eastern dragon whenever he travels through the spirit world. Instead of breathing fire or fighting to conquer kingdoms, Haku uses powerful magic, incredible speed, and graceful flight. He can shift freely between his human appearance and his dragon form, making him feel mysterious and almost otherworldly. His dragon body is covered in shimmering white scales, giving him a gentle and majestic appearance that stands apart from the fearsome dragons seen in most fantasy stories. As the film unfolds, it's revealed that Haku has forgotten his real name because the river he once represented was destroyed by human development. Recovering that forgotten identity becomes one of the movie's most emotional moments. Haku's connection to nature, memory, and the loss of the natural world transforms him into far more than a magical creature. His story turns a dragon into the living soul of a vanished river, making him one of the most unusual and unforgettable dragons ever created. At number 7, we're taking it back all the way to Norse mythology, which is rich with stories of incredible creatures. We're talking about Fafnir, one of mythology's strangest dragons because he was originally a man, not a mythical beast. In Norse legend, Fafnir was the son of a powerful dwarf king. After discovering a cursed treasure, including the famous ring and Varanot, his desire for wealth grew beyond all reason. His obsession consumed his mind and gradually twisted his body until he transformed into a gigantic dragon. Fafnir withdrew into the wilderness, where he spent years guarding his enormous hoard of gold, trusting no one and caring for nothing else except his treasure. His dragon form reflected the corruption inside him, turning greed into something physical and terrifying. Eventually, the legendary hero Sigurd confronted and killed Fafnir, but the dragon's cursed treasure continued to bring tragedy long after his death. Fafnir's story became one of the greatest inspirations for later dragons in fantasy literature, including treasure-hoarding dragons like Smaug. His transformation shows how destructive greed can become, making him one of the earliest and most unforgettable dragon legends ever told. On number 6 is the Bewilderbeast, one of the most unusual dragons in How to Train Your Dragon. Towering above almost every other species, this colossal dragon lives in icy regions and breathes powerful blasts of freezing ice instead of fire. Its most extraordinary ability is the power to command thousands of dragons through deep instinctive communication. Entire flocks recognize the bewilderbeast as their alpha and obey its commands without hesitation, allowing it to control massive dragon armies across huge distances. This ability can completely change the outcome of battles, as dragons that were once loyal to their riders can suddenly turn against them. Despite its immense strength, the bewilderbeast also serves as a protector, creating enormous ice nests where dragons gather for safety. Different bewilderbeasts can even challenge one another for dominance, with the victor becoming the new alpha. This combination of incredible size, ice powers, and the ability to lead entire dragon populations makes the bewilderbeast one of the strangest and most fascinating dragons ever imagined. At number 5 is Ladon, a dragon from Greek mythology that's a perfect fit for this list due to its bizarreness. Every version of this legend describes him as having 100 heads, each capable of speaking with its own voice. In Greek mythology, Ladon was entrusted with guarding the sacred golden apples in the Garden of Hesperides, a place that no ordinary person could enter. His countless heads allowed him to watch every direction at once, making it nearly impossible for anyone to sneak past him. Even while some heads rested, others remained fully alert, creating an eternal guardian that never truly let its guard down. Many stories also describe Ladon as immortal, adding another layer to his fearsome reputation. During his famous 12 labors, the hero Heracles was forced to overcome this monstrous guardian to obtain the golden apples. Ladon's unusual appearance inspired many later depictions of multi-headed dragons and serpents throughout fantasy fiction. With 100 minds, constant vigilance, and a divine purpose, Ladon remains one of the strangest creatures ever created in ancient mythology. At number 4 is Super Shenron from Dragon Ball Super, which is easily one of the strangest dragons in fiction because his sheer scale is almost impossible to comprehend. Created by the dragon god Zalama, Super Shenron exists across multiple universes, with each golden Dragon Ball measuring roughly the size of a planet. When all 7 Super Dragon Balls are gathered, the dragon that emerges stretches across galaxies, making even stars appear tiny by comparison. Unlike the other wish dragons in Dragon Ball, Super Shenron has virtually no known limits. He can grant any wish exactly as requested, including restoring entire universes that have been completely erased from existence. His appearance is equally unforgettable, with a glowing golden body that coils through the vacuum of space while speaking in a deep, divine voice. Despite possessing unimaginable power, Super Shenron has almost no personality or personal desires. He exists solely to answer the wish of whoever successfully summons him, before disappearing once again. A dragon that spans galaxies and possesses the power to reshape reality itself is unlike anything else in fiction, making Super Shenron one of the most extraordinary dragons ever created. Finally, we've arrived at the top 3 contenders of this list, and number 3 is the Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! Within the game's lore, the card is incredibly rare, with only a handful of original copies existing, making it one of the most sought-after monsters in the world. Its brilliant white scales, piercing blue eyes, and sleek design give it a unique appearance that stood apart from the darker, more traditional dragons seen in fantasy. The Blue Eyes White Dragon is famous for its devastating burst stream of destruction, an attack capable of obliterating almost any opponent in a single blast. Beyond its raw power, the dragon carries a deep history that connects it to ancient Egypt, where it was linked to the soul of a powerful priestess in a previous life. Decades after its debut, it remains one of the most recognizable dragons ever created and a lasting icon of anime and pop culture. At number 2 is Durnevir, one of the strangest dragons in the Elder Scrolls lore, because he exists somewhere between life and death. Long ago, he made a bargain with the rulers of the Soul Cairn in exchange for forbidden necromantic knowledge. The deal trapped him in that ghostly realm for countless ages, slowly transforming him into an undead dragon bound to another dimension. His body became scarred and skeletal, and he gained the power to summon undead creatures and manipulate souls. Despite his fearsome appearance, Durnevir is honorable and wise, making him one of Skyrim's most unique and memorable dragons. Finally, at number 1 is the Cannibal, who's one of the most terrifying dragons in the history of House of the Dragon, because he preyed on his own species. Unlike the Targaryen dragons, the Cannibal was completely wild and never accepted a rider. He lived on Dragonstone long before many believed the Targaryens arrived, making his true origins a mystery. His name comes from his horrifying habit of feeding on dragon eggs, young hatchlings, and even the remains of dead dragons. This brutal behavior made other dragons avoid his territory whenever possible. Covered in black scales with eerie green eyes, the Cannibal became a creature that even experienced dragon keepers feared. After the Dance of the Dragons, the Cannibal simply vanished, and no one ever discovered what became of him. His savage diet, mysterious past, and unexplained disappearance have made him one of the most unsettling dragons in all of George R.R. Martin's world. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any dragons in mind which I missed, comment them down below. If you'd like to watch more videos with similar themes, click the link that's appearing on your screen. Go ahead, click it!